तो मैं समझ ही रहा हूँ, मैं डेली डेली और पूरी तो कर लेंगे कम से कम सलटने से पहले, जिससे नरक नहीं मिले।
चलो, today we are discussing about an approach to cardiac chest X-ray. Cardiac approach to chest X-ray. So I'll be discussing this topic with three main things: the basic approach towards an X-ray, and then basic anatomies, then X-rays in different cardiac pathologies. So these will be the topic discussed. So to start with X-ray, first we have to look for rotation, then whether the film is inspiratory, and whether the film is inspiratory or expiratory, then the projection, whether it is AP or PA, then exposure, whether the film is underexposed, overexposed, or normal. So how do we tell there is no rotation? So the medial ends of both the clavicles should be equidistant from the spinous process to tell there is no rotation of the chest X-ray. And there is one more point. There is increase in radiolucency of one of the heavy thorax towards the side of the rotation. Then degree of inspiration, whether in normal inspiratory film, there should be 5 to 7 complete anterior ribs should be visible, or 10 posterior ribs should be visible. In poor inspiratory effort, there are fewer than 5 anterior ribs, and in hyperinflated lungs, there are more than 7 anterior ribs, or more than 10 posterior ribs. So, what is the significance of what is the significance of poor inspiratory film? This gives us a false perception that there is cardiomegaly, like in this, and there may be this may give false perception of lower lobe hastiness. So the film should be a normal inspiratory film. Then projection of the X-ray. The X-ray projection can be AP and PA. The AP view is a direction of projection of a light from anteriorly, from anterior, and the direction of X-ray projection from behind is PA. So how do we differentiate between an PA and AP view? PA is generally done in erect patients. The vertebral spines are more prominent in PA view. However, vertebral bodies are clear. In scapula is away from the lung fields in PA view, while in AP view, scapula overlaps the lung fields. In AP view, there is apparent cardiomegaly, and clavicles are oblique. While in PA view, clavicles are horizontal. कोई और है क्या? Then how will we differentiate the film is erect and supine? So gas bubble is in fundus, and there is clear air fluid level in erect position, while gas bubble is in antrum, and there is apparent cardiomegaly. So how will we tell the X-ray is underexposed, or there is normal exposure, or the overexposure? So in normal exposure, according to Lakshmi, there is around 4 vertebral bodies. First 4 vertebral bodies are visible. If more than 4 vertebral bodies and there is X-ray film appears too black, then it is an overexposure. If no vertebral bodies are not, there is no visible vertebral bodies, then the film is underexposed. These are the 3 exposed film. Oh, this one is overexposed. This one is normal. This one is underexposed. So the structure seen in the anterior view are the cardiac borders are mainly formed by aortic arch, then pulmonary trunk, then left atrial appendage, LV, cardiac apex, and right border is formed by right atrium and SVC, and position of right ventricle is here. So in lateral view, the structures lies as mentioned are, this is aorta, pulmonary trunk, then right ventricle, and LV, LA. And here there is inferior vena cava. So this is a lateral view marking the normal position of the chambers and structures. So here we can see aorta, LP, pulmonary outflow tract, RV, LV, and IVC lies here, generally not visible clearly. LA. So as I've told earlier, cardiac contours are formed by left contour is formed by aortic nerve, main pulmonary artery, indentation of the left atrial appendages, left ventricle, then right atrium. Then if the LA enlargement is there, then there is double density of the left atrium, then ascending aorta, or sometimes superior vena cava. So ascending aorta is generally defined as a low edge, almost straight at line seen. So when the ascending aorta is prominent, whether means dilated, then the there is dilatation, you can see here. And if the ascending aorta is small, then there is no dilatation. See. Then left atrium generally lies in the center position. Generally, it is a backward structure. So when the left atrium is enlarged, it is created into three types. There is double density of the left atrium is seen like here, and the creating of the left atrium I'll be discussing later. Then we can see aortic knuckle. It is first bump in the left side of the left side of the X-ray, and it should measure less than 35 mm. It is generally enlarged when there is increased pressure, increased flow, or there is changes in the aortic walls. Some examples being atrial stenosis or aortic stenosis, then VSDPS, then main pulmonary artery. So the next bump to the aortic knuckle is on the left side is the pump of main pulmonary artery. So I'll be discussing pulmonary circulation later on. So it divides into LPA and RPA. So how to measure main pulmonary artery? So we draw a tangential line from the aortic knuckle to the left apex. Then we draw a tangential line of the main pulmonary artery. Then we measure the distance perpendicular with the help of perpendicular line. If the main pulmonary artery is generally between 0 mm to 15 mm, if it is less than 15 mm, then main pulmonary artery is generally atretic or small. If it is more than this tangent line drawn from the aortic knuckle to the apex, it is generally dilated. So here, what I was telling. So what are the reasons of dilatation of the pulmonary artery? It is generally increased pressures, increased flow. So if the pulmonary artery is less than 0.15 mm, then it then the causes may be because of small or atretic pulmonary art, maybe because of tau VSD, yes, and truncus arteriosus. Truncus arteriosus mainly because and there may be, and sometimes pulmonary artery may also be positioned backwards. So in that cases also we don't see the pulmonary, or we don't see the pulmonary. We see in such cases also the MPA distance is less than 15 mm, it's greater than 15 mm, because the pulmonary artery is deviated to the back. Then next, left contour is formed by left atrial appendages. It is generally prominent when there is dilatation of the left atrium. Then the next part forming the left contour is left ventricle. So how do we measure, how do we calculate, how do we call it a cardiomegaly when the cardiothoracic ratio is less than is more than 4.55 in adults and zero point 0.6 in newborn. So how do we measure a cardiothoracic ratio? We draw draw a straight line through the in the middle of the chest X-ray. Then towards the right side, the maximum area towards the right side, we take the distance. Then towards the left side also the maximum area covered by the heart. Then we add the two and we divide it by the maximum length of the chest X-ray, the thoracic area. And if the ratio is more than 0.55, it is considered as cardiomegaly. So, good evening, sir. सर हमने स्टार्ट कर दिया था. हेलो. हेलो. यस सर. हाँ सर. अच्छा सर वो हाँ सर वो हमने स्टार्ट कर दिया था.
ठीक है गुड. You're talking about CT ratio, ना?
हाँ सर CT ratio. So we did discuss about the calculation of CT ratio. Now, and sometimes CT ratio is more, but the heart size is normal. Such spurious causes of cardiac enlargement can be because of portable AP film, obesity in pregnant females, maybe because of vasculitis, straight back syndrome, or factus excavatum. CTR ratio may be less than, in some cases, CTR ratio may be less than 50%, but the heart size may be abnormal. In cases of obstruction of the outflow of the ventricle, such as causing ventricular hypertrophy, and we should look at the cardiac contours, such as dilatation of the ascending aorta and LV contour. There are other criteria for calculating cardiomegaly in such cases, such as increase in the transcardiac diameter of more than 22 centimeter compared to the old X-ray. And in old age and emphysema, if the transcardiac diameter is more than 15.5 centimeter in males and more than 12.5 centimeters in females, in such cases also we can label it as cardiomegaly. Then for chamber enlargement, we'll be discussing about RA enlargement, LA enlargement, RV enlargement, and LV enlargement. So criteria for RA enlargement is right cardiac borders become different criteria. The first criteria being the right cardiac borders becomes more convex and measure more than 50% of the right border. Right atrial border extend more than 3 ribs, like 3 intercostal spaces. The measurement from the mid-vertical line to the maximum convexity is more than 5 centimeter in adults and more than 4 centimeter in children. In lateral view, we can see the fullness, the space between sternum and front of the upper part of the cardiac fillet. So criteria for LA enlargement are the widening of carina, that is the division of the bronchus is called as carina. When the normal angle is 45 to 75 degree, when the angle is more than 75 degree, it is only considered as LA enlargement. The elevation of left bronchus, straightening of the left heart border, double atrial shadow, as I've discussed earlier. So the LA enlargement can be in double atrial shadow. According to atrial shadow, we can grade the LA enlargement into 3 types. Grade 1 is double cardiac and contour. So grade 1 is double cardiac contour. Double cardiac contour when RA touches the right atrial border, and when LA overshoots the right atrial border, then it is grade 3. So we can also see dilatation of the prominence of the left atrial appendage. So here we can see widening of the carina, double atrial shadow, and elevation of the left bronchus. So how does
whatever grading you are telling
Yes,
now,
sir.
that grading
Yes, sir.
is purely on the basis of extension towards the right side.
Right side,
LA
yes,
can
sir. So,
enlarge on right side, LA can enlarge on left
yes, sir.
side, LA can
Yes, sir.
enlarge superiorly, or
No.
LA can go
Can
posteriorly.
inferiorly, posteriorly, yes, sir. So when the LA is enlarged in superiorly, there is widening of the angle of carina and upward shifting of the left bronchus. When the LA enlarged towards the left side, then there is generally prominence of the LL appendages. When the LA is enlarged to the right side, I have discussed the three criteria. And inferiorly and posteriorly, there is generally we can see in the lateral X-ray, there is indentation in the esophagus can be seen. And inferiorly, LA can also enlarge, but it is very rare. So this we have discussed. This is posterior, and this is LA pushing the esophagus posterior, enlargement of the LA posterior. Then LV enlargement. The left cardiac border gets enlarged and becomes more convex, resulting in cardiomegaly. The left cardiac border dips into left from the diaphragm. There is associated rounded apical segment, and cardiophrenic angle becomes obtuse. In lateral view, we can have different criteria, and these criteria also helps in differentiating the LV and RV and enlargement. So there is Rigler's measurement A, then there is Rigler's measurement B, and there is Euler's ratio. Then if the Rigler's measurement is A is more than 17 mm, then there is LV enlargement, it is less than 17 mm, it is generally, in cases of cardiomegaly, it's
How do you
generally
do a
RV.
Rigler's measurement?
Someone बता रहा हूँ. So Rigler's measurement A, we draw a J point, we get a J point when it is generally done only when the superior vena cava is, when the junction of, when the IVC is visible in the lateral axis. So it can't be done when the IVC is not visible. So we get a J point at the junction of at the junction of left atrium and IVC. From J point along the line of IVC, about 2 centimeter above the point, we draw a point X. Then we measure the distance from X and Y. So if the distance between the X and Y is more than 17 mm, then it is considered as LV hypertrophy. If it is less than 17 mm and cardiomegaly, then it is considered as RV hypertrophy. For Rigler's measurement P, from the J point, we draw a perpendicular line. That point is marked as B. From B, we draw a line for straight line towards the base of the sternum, and then posteriorly towards the spine. So the measurement distance between the J point and the generally between the J point and the B point is more than 7.5 mm normally, but for Euler's ratio, we calculate the ratio between A and B and B and C. If it is more than 0.545, then it is considered as LV hypertrophy.
एक बार Rickler's measurement दोबारा बताओ. Can you explain it again?
Yes sir. The IVC और RA के LA के जंक्शन पे एक J पॉइंट बनाया, उसके अबाउट 2 सेंटीमीटर एक पॉइंट लिया, उसको X डिनोट किया, ठीक है. तो फिर X और जो पोस्टीरियर जो उसका जो कार्डियक बॉर्डर पे पॉइंट Y को मार्क किया, तो X और Y के बीच में जो डिस्टेंस है उसको इस वाले पॉइंट को, इस वाले डिस्टेंस को हम वो मेजर करेंगे, और ये अगर 17 mm से कम होगा तो नॉर्मल होगा, और 17 mm से ज्यादा होगा तो ये एलवी हाइपरट्रोफी है. ऐसे ही J पॉइंट के नीचे एक स्ट्रेट लाइन में हमने B पॉइंट मार्क किया टुवर्ड्स द डोम ऑफ द डायफ्राम, और J पॉइंट और B के बीच में जो डिस्टेंस होगा उसको हम मेजर करेंगे. अगर वो 7.5 mm से ज्यादा होगा तो नॉर्मल होगा, कम होगा तो एलवी हाइपरट्रोफी होगा.
Are you aware of other? What is Rickler's sign?
Rickler's
Rickler's
sign.
sign?
So Rickler's sign.
It is a double wall sign. It is seen in pneumopericardium.
अच्छा सर, वो pneumopericardium.
Pneumoperitoneum, sorry, abdomen में होता है.
अच्छा,
What is the Rickler triad?
Pneumoperitoneum.
pneumoperitoneum, ठीक है.
What is Rickler triad?
Rickler triad.
Rickler triad होता भी abdomen का sign होता है. It is pneumobilia, intestinal obstruction, gallstones में generally मिलता है. What is Rickler notch sign? It is referred to the indentation in the border of the solid lung mass. Generally bronchial carcinoma का feature होता है. So I have mentioned all these Rickler sign in my textbook actually. इसमें मैंने ये describe किया. We have described this Rickler sign,
yes,
but you have also nicely described it. So one must be aware of all this. What is Shumo sign?
Shumo.
It is a appearance of a prominent rounded left ventricle and dilated aorta. Plain AP chest view में. So it gives a, जैसे Shumo होता है ना, what is Shumo? जैसे वो comic character रहता है ना Shumo.
Yes sir.
So it basically indicates a left ventricular enlargement. Since you raised a named sign, मैंने सब.
So why do we take this Rickler measurement? What was the basis of this Rickler measurement? So it was seen that LV generally enlarges and displaces, and the posterior border, LV generally enlarges and the posterior border of the heart displaces posteriorly and covers the IVC and covers the IVC. So that's why. So here we can see different sizes of LV. Like here, the normal LV should be like that. So when the LV increases in size, it generally increasing in size posteriorly. So this is the basis of this Rickler measurement. Then the Euler's ratio I have discussed. So we take the P point, we take a distance between A and B, and B and C. Then we take a ratio between AB and BC. If it is less than 0.42, it is normal, and more than it is generally enlarged. So this we have discussed. Then RV enlargement. So in RV enlargement, the Rickler's measurements are generally towards pointing towards the normal size. So in AP view, we see a cardiomegaly, but in the lateral view with the Rickler's measurement, it generally points towards a normal measurements. So as discussed, the Rickler measurement will be 17 mm or less. Rickler measurement B will be 7.5 mm or more, and Ehlers ratio should be less than 0.42. So the X-ray for pericardial X-ray findings for pericardial effusions are generally narrow vascular pedicle. Cardiomegaly is directly proportional to the amount of fluid. The shadow is generally rounded, and there is no particular chamber enlargement seen. Cardiophrenic angles are generally more acute, and pulmonary blood flow is pulmonary vascular. There is oligemic pulmonary vascular markings, and the cardiac celerity is changes when the patient is sitting, when the patient is erect, and when the patient lies down, the cardiac celerity changes. Means the size of the cardiac only changes. There is difference between the size. And there is one more thing, which is epicardial fat sign. That is anterior pericardial strip bordered by epicardial fat post and mediastinal posteriorly and mediastinal fat anteriorly. That is of more than 2 mm. So here we can see there is acute cardiophrenic angle. Pulmonary fields are oligemic. There is no specific cardiac chamber enlargement, and generally gives the appearance of water bottle, and there are narrow vascular pedicles as the pulmonary blood flow is not. So how do we differentiate between a dilated cardiomyopathy with a pericardial effusion? So in dilated cardiomyopathy, we can see there is specific chamber enlargement. However, in pericardial effusion, there is no specific cardiac enlargement. As in pericardial effusion, the cardiac, we have discussed, cardiophrenic angle is acute. However, in cardiophrenic angle, it is generally obtuse. There is increase in pulmonary venous hypertension in dilated cardiomyopathy, secondary to failure changes. There is no change in the cardiac celerity, as generally there is no fluid in the pericardium, so the cardiac celerity doesn't change with the posture of the patient. Vascular pedicles are dilated in cases of failure, and in fluoro we can see cardiac pulsation. Then what are the chest X-ray features of constructive pericarditis? There is generally straightening of the right heart border. We can see the pericardial calcification, and there may be dilatation of SVC and azygos, though it is not much. The chest X-ray findings for congenital absence pericardium are, you can see there is a focal bulge at the site of pulmonary artery. The cardiac borders are sharply marginated. There's generally no visible, no differentiable right heart border, and there is increase in distance between the sternum and echo. There is no distance between the sternum and the heart due to absence of sternopericardial ligament. ये तो lateral side में ही पता चलेगा. Then science. Yes, sir.
What did you say on the lateral side? Hello.
Lateral X-ray may increase in distance between the sternum and the heart due to absence of sternopericardial ligament.
There is because selective partial pericardium absence generally manifests as bulge onto the left side. But if it is a complete absence of pericardium, it will manifest as actually a cardiac shift. Focal bulge in the area of the left pulmonary artery is present in partial absence of pericardium.
Yes, sir. So now coming to pulmonary vascularity. So for normal pulmonary circulation, the diameter of the right descending pulmonary artery should be less than 17 mm. Normally, the blood flow is generally more in the lower lobes than in the upper lobes. So the difference this is mainly because of this is mainly generally gravity dependent, and it has been seen that the pressure difference between the upper lobe and the lower lobe is generally around 20 mm of Hg, and the normal pressures in the normal pressures is generally in the female is generally 9 to 14 9 to 14 mm Hg, 9 to 12 mm of Hg in females, and 10 to 14 mm Hg in 10 to 13 mm of Hg in males. So for for normal distribution, and there should be normal distribution of the pulmonary flow. So when there is pulmonary hypertension, it can be graded into three parts. Grade 1 is 13 to 17 mm of Hg in both chronic and acute disease, while in grade 2, in acute disease it is 18 to 25 mm of Hg, and in chronic it is 18 to 30, and grade 4 is more than 25 in acute settings and more than 30 in chronic disease. So there are different features according to these grades. So for grade 1, there is generally cephalization, which means that there is increase in flow in the in the upper lobes, and as compared to the lower lobes. It is generally also denoted by antler sign, and it is generally occurs because there is increase in resistance due to increase in resistance to flow due to interstitial edema. There is alveolar hypoxia in the lower lobes, which causes reflex vasoconstriction of the lower lobes, and there is vasoconstriction of the arterioles due to alveolar pulmonary vein reflex. Then there is grade 2, that is characterized by interstitial edema. Then peribronchial cuffing. Peribronchial cuffing is thickening of the bronchial walls, and it can be visible in the chest X-ray. We can see here. Then there is curly V signs. I'll be showing curly V. These horizontal line 1 to 3 mm thick in the later part of the towards the postophrenic angle. These are generally visible. That denotes grade 2 pulmonary hypertension. Then there is grade 3, that is bed wing appearance and increase bed wing appearance and signs were showing pulmonary edema. Then how will we see pulmonary artery hypertension? When the RPDA diameter is more than 15 mm, 17 mm, and when there is more than 3 peripheral vessels are visible on the single side, or more than 5 peripheral vessels are on both the sides. If the ratio between the RPDA and the and the corresponding bronchus is more than 1.5, or the RPDA diameter is almost equal to trachea. These generally are the signs of pulmonary artery hypertension. So pulmonary plethora is generally seen in pulmonary artery hypertension. Signs are similar to that. We're seeing more than three peripheral vessels on the one single side and more than 5 peripheral vessels on the other side, and diameter of RPD. Then pulmonary oligemia is defined as when there is decreased flow across the pulmonary artery. It can be because of in conditions where there is tricuspid atresia, decreased flow situations such as tricuspid atresia, PS condition. So generally it is characterized by empty pulmonary bay. Pulmonary vessels are small. Lungs is hyper translucent, and lateral view also shows decreased small size of pulmonary artery. Then what is proning? Proning is generally seen in the cases of left to right shunt, which is associated with obliterative changes in the small pulmonary artery. It is generally characterized by more than 50% decrease in the size of the size from the proximal main pulmonary artery to the peripheral pulmonary artery. So if the size is more than 50% decrease, generally called as pruning. Then pulmonary embolism, the peculiarity of pulmonary embolism is that the size where there is pulmonary embolism, there is decreased flow towards that side of the lung. So it may be so that part of the lung may be oligemic. There are certain signs which are associated with pulmonary obstruction.
हेलो
मयंक का मैसेज है, कनेक्शन चला गया 2 मिनट्स.
सर आप कुछ पूछ रहे थे?
हाँ, मैं just asking you की टाइम था ना. Absent pericardium was showing. What is the basis for this? Signs in absent pericardium.
वो सर कनेक्शन चला गया था. हेलो.
हाँ, you're audible.
हाँ, ठीक है. तो so pulmonary embolism. So Westermer sign is when there is decrease in vascularity distal to the embolism. Symptoms of is wedge side opacity in the lateral costophrenic angle. Then Fletcher's sign is prominent central pulmonary artery that is because of the dilatation of the prominent pulmonary artery proximal to the obstruction. Then Pallas sign is dilated right descending pulmonary artery. That may be sometimes visible in pulmonary embolism. So for valvular heart disease such as mitral stenosis, there may be features of left atrial enlargement. Then there may be right atrial enlargement secondary to tricuspid insufficiency, signs of pulmonary venous hypertension, and enlargement of
Hello.
cranberry. Yes, sir. So for mitral regurgitation, there is generally LA enlargement. As we can see, there is widening of the carina and obtuse angle of the carina. Then there is double shed of the left atrium. There is enlargement of the left ventricle and pulmonary venous hypertension. You can see.
हेलो.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा ठीक है यार, कट मुझे आवाज नहीं आ रही थी. So you connecting to MR ना?
Yes, sir.
Come to valves.
Sir, वो general X-ray according to disease.
Okay.
Then in aortic stenosis, because of stenosis, we can see there is dilatation of the ascending aorta. Dilatation of the ascending aorta. Left ventricular hypertrophy. There is no enlargement of the left. There is LV hypertrophy. Then aortic regurgitation. There is generally dilated ascending aorta with the LV enlargement. In valvular PS, there is decrease in there is oligemia of the lung fields with dilated. They may be associated dilated pulmonary artery with enlarged with dilated pulmonary artery, and there is no obvious cardiomyopathy. If the PS is infundibular, then we can see there is RVH with the upward shifting of the apex, and there is concave PSA. In congenital heart disease, like in ASD, we can see signs of pulmonary venous hypertension.
So how will you
Signs of-
differentiate between how PS पिछला गया ना? How will you differentiate between classical pulmonary stenosis and
Yes, sir.
a PS with dysplastic pulmonary valve?
So dysplastic pulmonary valve, sir, there should be the lung fields will be oligemic, but there may be dilated pulmonary artery.
In
Sir, in PS, there's some flow in the across the and dysplastic pulmonary
in classical PS.
classical
In
PS.
classical PS, there is a post-stenotic dilatation. That is why you
Dilatation,
see.
yes, sir. And in dysplastic pulmonary valve, there is no dilatation. Like there is no pulmonary artery will be small because there is no flow.
बहुत आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है. Classical PS में doming pulmonary valve is due to the presence of 2 or 4 raphes without separation into valve leaflets. Dysplastic में there is a thickened myxomatous immobile valve which is there with 3 separate cusps. So what happens? The jet lesion is rounded shape. That is why you get
आवाज. Hello. हेलो.
hello
ये सर आवाज कट
Hello.
रही है. हेलो, आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है.
hello.
हेलो. वॉइस
Okay, you
ब्रेक
can
हो रही है.
continue. I think my video is. The classical PS will have a LPA dilatation.
Yes,
So that is called a Chen sign because of preferential streaming into the left
yes,
pulmonary
sir.
artery.
Because हाँ सर, क्योंकि जो स्ट्रीमिंग होती है उसमें ब्लड का जो प्रेशर होता है वो स्मॉल ओरिफिस से लेफ्ट पल्मोनरी आर्टरी की तरफ ज्यादा जाता है, क्योंकि उसका वो जो एंगल होता है वो उस टाइम पे ऐसा कुछ है.
Because the LPA is in direction with this, no? So
Yes,
it
sir.
is always. Is there a direct? Is there a? Suppose there is a significant post-stenotic dilatation. Does it point towards the severity of the pulmonary stenosis?
Sir, sir, it more the dilatation, more the.
Does not. There is no relation to this. Does not point towards the severity of the pulmonary stenosis. The conditions where PS का पूरा vascular can be reached in pulmonary stenosis. Whenever there is a associated shunt lesion, obviously ASD is very commonly associated. So whenever there is no significant oligemia in the lungs, one should rule out associated ASD, which is very much common. You come to ASD.
Yes, sir.
You talked about infundibular PS also.
Yes,
So
sir.
how will you? राम में भाई आपने इंजेक्शन सिस्टोलिक मर्मर बोल दिया, आप इको देखोगे. So the question will be, how will you differentiate valvular PS from an infundibular PS? What will be the differences?
So the main difference will be sir right ventricular hypertrophy. So
वो तो दोनों में होगी.
हाँ.
Main pulmonary artery dilatation जो होगा, it is a feature of valvular PS.
Yes,
LPA dilatation is a feature of valvular PS.
Valvular PS. Yes.
ठीक है. Indentation on the left heart border.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Below the dilatation, there can be indentation on the left heart border. This is very
Yes, sir.
classical.
उसको this is a sign infantibular. उसको कुछ बोलते हैं.
So can you differentiate PS with intact septum from PS with reversed shunt at the ASD?
PS with intact septum. Sir,
Basically, it all depends. Association is less, but I mean, if the cardiomegaly is significant, then the shunt generally tries to become reverse. So this is one of the questions which has been asked. Okay, we'll go to the ASD now.
So
You said ASD, na?
Yes, sir. So in ASD, there is generally increased pulmonary blood flow. So the MPA will be dilated. There will be signs of pulmonary plethora and signs of pulmonary venous hypertension also. So in such cases, there may be dilatation of there may be RV type of apex and may be associated dilatation of the RA also.
So जब भी X-ray देखते हो ASD का, you will occasionally find right pulmonary artery is prominent as compared to the left pulmonary artery. Can you tell why?
So, pulmonary artery is prominent. So because of the जो उसका right pulmonary artery की origin की वजह से जो उसका angle of origin होता है तो उसमें blood flow ज्यादा.
Whenever there is a RV outflow dilatation, इसमें RV dilatation होता है ना, जब RV outflow dilatation होता है साथ में, RV dilatation tends to twist the heart. So actually LPA dilated, कम dilated नहीं होती है. It's because of the twisting, the RPA in AP view comes slightly anterior and gives that false opinion of a significant RPA dilatation as compared to LPA dilatation. So this is also one of the feature of ASD.
Okay. So वैसे LPA तो वो is generally masked with the main pulmonary artery की वजह से वो dilatation की वजह से LPA तो mask हो जाता है, तो इसलिए तकरीबन एक्सरे में दिखाई नहीं देता.
जबकि severe isolated pulmonary stenosis में LPA dilatation मिलेगी.
हाँ, पर एक्सरे में सर
because jet is directed to like ASD और PS दोनों में increased flow डायरेक्ट होगा RV outflow में, दोनों में injection systolic मिलेगी. इस प्रेजेंट करोगे डिफरेंस आएगा कि ASD है कि नहीं है. सो वैल्वुलर PS में LPA हमेशा प्रेडोमिनेट करती है, पोस्ट स्टेनोटिक डिलेशन प्रेडोमिनेट करती है. अब पोस्ट स्टेनोटिक MPA के डिलेशन में ASD में मिल जाएगी, पर LPA is generally not very much dilated in ASD. It is RPA which becomes prominent because of the volume overloaded RVOT which gets twisted. You understand? This is the that is why I asked the question why RPA is prominent in this, why not LPA?
Yes.
It is difficult, but can you what will be the pointers of Lutembecker syndrome on suppose you're presenting a case of Lutembecker syndrome? So whenever clinical findings are significantly increased, then you have to talk of Lutembecker syndrome. In X-ray, can there be something which can point to a presence of Lutembecker syndrome?
Sir, वो so उसमें
whenever RA is dilated, calcification is दिग्जय mitral area में, yes,
yes sir.
And whenever the RA is significantly dilated,
yes,
then one has to always to think of associated anomaly. Lutembecker is one of them. Is there will be any specific feature of a sinus venosus ASD?
Also, PEH is not there, no?
Huh?
पीवीएच नहीं होता उसमें,
हाँ
ल्यूटेनबैशर में।
वो तो लुटेबैकर में वैसे भी नहीं होता, एएसडी में भी नहीं होता.
हम्म,
So we are talking of the condition where they can be a case of ASD, but whenever the findings are out of proportion, significantly RAR dilatation, PA pressure is high, then you start thinking of a Lutem-Becker syndrome. Just for completion, वैसे मैं named में वो करता नहीं था, but in general, it is also called a jug handle appearance in ASD.
okay
This is because right pulmonary artery prominent होती है, that forms the jug का handle.
yes sir.
Or RARV forms this. That is why it is called a jug handle appearance in ISD. Okay. What is the next lesion?
So sinus venosus वाला
Yeah. Ideally, one has to go for a X-ray, but specific location of a defect cannot be predicted on X-ray.
yes, sir.
But
ampullary dilatation दिखती है सर उसके अंदर superior vena cava की
नहीं, occasionally what can happen is right superior pulmonary vein, which lies more superiorly, at times there will be a prominence of the upper part of the lung, right superior pulmonary veins की prominence. If it is seen, it is considered one of the X-ray signs of sinus venosus in a spectrum of ASD. यानी किसी ASD की केस में अगर आपको right upper pulmonary area में ऊपर वाले में SVC जहाँ होती है वहाँ पे prominent मिल रही है,
yes
that is considered a prominent right upper pulmonary vein, and this can suggest to the presence of sinus venosus ASD. Otherwise, you cannot differentiate the type of ASD from
yes sir.
this. So what will be the signs in X-ray once the PVOD develops? Pulmonary vascular obstructive disease develops. ASD का आप केस
Yes,
प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो, PH की
Yes, sir.
डिस्कशन होगी, नॉर्मली बड़ा ही होगा, तो आपसे सवाल
Yes,
पूछेंगे कि डॉक्टर साहब what will be the signs on X-ray which can tell that this can have a PVOD? Cardiomegaly?
Yes, sir. Cardiomegaly
Yes or no?
will decrease. So cardiomegaly will
Cardiomegaly
will be there.
in favor of PVOD against PVOD.
Sir,
Just
the cardio right when sir it is favor of PVOD.
डॉक्टर साहब ASD में नहीं होती कार्डियोमेगली.
Yes, sir.
Cardiomegaly persist in PVOD,
Yes, sir.
not suggestive.
Will be
What about vascularity?
vascularity will be decreased.
Vascularity will, you have to fill. Vascularity will be, pruning will be there. Pruning means more than 50% reduction in the
decrease
artery
in
size.
artery
And
size.
that will size. Pulmonary artery prominence, right
Pulmonary
descending
artery.
pulmonary artery,
एनलार्ज एमपीए,
Sir,
and enlarged MPA, yeah. Right descending pulmonary artery is enlarged in normal ASD also. And it is always more than the left pulmonary artery.
so
And whenever it is very severe, there can be a significant RA enlargement in case of severe PH. So only vascularity will be the major differentiating feature. Okay. Next lesion.
so the on X-ray basis, how will we differentiate between ASD, VSD, and PDA? So in ASD, generally the left atrium remains normal. However, there may be decreased size of the aorta. In VSD, left atrium may increase in size, aorta remains normal. While in PDA, both left atrium and aorta increase in size. So the case was VSD ka X-ray. So in VSD, there is LV type of
नहीं
apex.
PMVSD नहीं VSD का. You cannot
VSD का.
say perimembranous VSD ना.
नहीं VSD का X-ray sir.
Yeah.
So in VSD generally there is left ventricle type of apex. The MPA is dilated due to increased pulmonary blood flow, and RPA when the pulmonary plethora is present. While when the PhD is non-restrictive and there may be a decrease in pulmonary flow and asymmetralization take place. So there may be decreased pulmonary blood flow and in such cases there may be RV type of effect.
suppose you are following up a child of VSD
Yes.
and there is a reduction in heart size. What will be the causes of reduction in heart size in VSD with increasing age?
So isomerization is the main side.
Pehli cheez, no, it's not the main. You have to always examine clinically.
Yes.
What happens normally also the CT ratio of a newborn child is higher. Why it is higher? Because of the change in shape of the thorax.
Yes.
Okay, this is a oblong shape as it grows. So one, this is a common question which is asked कि डॉक्टर साहब पुराना एक्सरे अभी से कंपेयर करोगे, आप एक्सरे में साइज कम मिल रहा है तो कॉजेस क्या होंगे? Secondly, you have to clinically examine. आपका आंसर होगा well, there can be a change. Then you have to clinically examine the patient. If you are getting a very good murmur, there is a possibility the VSD size has decreased.
Okay.
So there may be relative reduction in VSD size when it is compared to the lung volume. Lung volume tends to increase.
Yes,
Of course, PVOD and presence of infundibular stenosis. These are the causes where this question has been asked many times. That is why I am asking. With the VSD previous X-ray se compare karoge and size of the heart is decreasing, what are the causes?
So PDA in generally if the
एक मिनट VSD खत्म नहीं है. VSD में suppose आपने band कर दिया.
Yes, sir.
So what is the effect of? There can be a patient who has got a VSD and subsequently a band. Now is admitted for surgery. आपको exam में दे दिया. So what will be the findings on PA banding?
So PA banding, there will be reduction in the size of the pulmonary artery. The
Which pulmonary artery?
so in so main pulmonary.
जब भी PA band करते हैं, LPA MPA के लाइन में होता है और RPA एंगल पे होता है.
Yes, sir.
So as the child grows, band tends to encroach the right pulmonary artery. वो एंगल पे होता है ना, तो
Yes, sir.
right pulmonary artery का flow X-ray में decrease हो सकता है as compared to left pulmonary artery. So this will be a pointer of a presence of, if you find a differential flow, there can be either a post-op surgery patient hai, there is a possibility of right pulmonary artery flow being decreased or the development of peripheral pulmonary stenosis. Suppose a pulmonary artery in a case of VSD possibilities, pulmonary artery भी dilated होती है, RVOT
Yes,
भी
sir.
dilated. What are the causes?
So VSD PS causing pulmonary
Yeah,
artery is not done.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to rule out VSD PS. But agar that means you have to rule out a pink tetralogy.
So,
अगर increased situation मिल रहा है और main pulmonary artery prominent नहीं मिल रही है, probably you could be dealing with the pink tetralogy. All the findings of VSD would be there.
yes.
Okay, now you're coming to PDA, no?
Yes, sir. Sir, in PDA, if the PDA if there is non-restrictive type of moderately restrictive type of PDA, then there may be increased pulmonary vascularity and enlargement of the pulmonary trunk and enlargement of left atrium, left ventricle. While if there is non-restrictive type of PDA, then there may be reduced pulmonary vascularity, may go into isomerization and may cause reduced pulmonary vascularity and with dilatation of the pulmonary trunk and proximal branches. Also, there may be associated calcification of the aneurysm of the PDA can be seen, and maybe associated calcification at the area of aneurysm.
So what is aortic ductal infundibulum complex? Are you aware of this on X-ray?
So, aortic ductal infundibular.
Aortic ductal. So infundibulum actually refers here to the infundibulum funnel-shaped widening of the aorta. What happens whenever there is a PDA with excessive flow through the proximal aorta? वो right-sided pulmonary artery में shunt हो रहा है.
Yes, sir.
So in addition, the aortic end of the ductus is often enlarged and becomes a very prominent. So enlarged aorta and the ductal infundibulum, paratracheal area में left side पे, they will cast a shadow. This is called aortic ductal infundibular complex. It's not infundibulum of the heart. It is infundibulum. In this time, infundibulum is referred to the aortic narrowing. aortic dilatation actually. It resembles the infundibulum of the RVOT. Prominent shadow in the paratracheal area.
Yes. Then in coarctation of aorta, we generally
दूसरी बात आती है ना, ascending aorta dilatation जो होता है,
Yes.
वो कितना significant है? What is the significance of ascending aorta dilatation in a post-tricuspid shunt?
So it shows there is left ventricular is functioning and it is the main reason for cardiac output. मतलब कि वो आइसोमेंगराइजेशन होने से पहले वाली कंडीशन में
नहीं, बिना पोस्ट ट्राइकस्टिड फ्रंट लीजन में अगर ascending aorta dilatation मिल रही है तो generally we take it for the presence of AP window, as Shashank has said it, AP window.
yes,
So that generally points towards the presence of AP window. But remember, जो हम AP window की dilatation की बोल रहे हैं, we are talking of children. Adults में क्या होता है? Normally thymus से covered रहता है, unfolding नहीं हुई होती. Adults में क्या होता है? Ascending aorta dilatation can be a feature of PDA also. To differentiate AP window from PDA, there will be a presence of ascending aorta dilatation in children because infolding वगैरह नहीं होती. पर adults में, grown up adults में ascending aorta dilatation PDA मिल सकता है. So how will you say that PDA है? The presence of AP window. AP window मतलब AP window area में fullness जो हम अभी बात कर रहे थे.
yes, sir.
That is a characteristic feature of PDA. It is present only in PDA, not AP window.
सर इनके अंदर
I'll
एपी
differentiate
विंडो का सर एपी विंडो के अंदर एक और चीज थी मैंने पढ़ी थी उधर एक बुक में कि उसमें ऐसा भी होता है कि लोग जो पल्मोनरी वीनस हाइपरटेंशन होती है उसके भी 3 टाइप्स 4-5 टाइप होते हैं. एक तो सेफलाइजेशन होती है, एक लेटरलाइजेशन होती है, एक लोकलाइजेशन होती है. तो लोकलाइजेशन एपी विंडो का साइन होता है क्योंकि उसमें एक लोकल एरिया में ही इंक्रीज होता है. फिर
AP window में
हाँ एपी विंडो का था
Are you talking about
लोकलाइजेशन.
AP window और pulmonary AV fistula?
अच्छा पल्मोनरी एवी फिस्टुला था सर. पल्मोनरी एवी फिस्टुला.
Pulmonary AV fistula में localize increase होती है ना.
यस सर.
AP window
और
तो vascular structure है, उसका venous से तो कोई
हाँ
relation है ही
वेनस कोई नहीं है. हाँ सर ऐसे ही उसके अंदर सर एक वो भी था कि कोलेटरलाइजेशन टॉप के अंदर हो जाएगी जिसके अंदर मैप्स होंगे. फिर एक होता है सेंट्रलाइजेशन होता है. सेंट्रलाइजेशन तकरीबन उसके अंदर उसके साथ होती है सर ये आइसोमेंगराइजेशन के साथ सेंट्रलाइजेशन होती है. ये भी था सर वो मतलब कि सेपलाइजेशन के डिफरेंट टर्म्स पीवीएच के साथ सिर्फ सेपलाइजेशन के अलावा ये भी हो सकता है.
तो किसी भी पोस्ट ट्राइकस्पिड शंट लीजन की फाइंडिंग में अगर आपको enlarged aorta मिल रही है, so you have to start thinking of PDA, sorry AP window,
एपी विंडो,
PDA, RSOV, coronary artery fistula. ये चारों रहेंगे जो RVOT में ओपन कर सकते हैं.
then X-ray finding of coarctation of aorta, there is generally figure of 3 sign or E sign that is and associated rib notching. So rib notching is mainly because of dilatation of intercostal arteries that shadows the ribs, and according to rib notching also we can differentiate the point of coarctation, like after the subclavian, if the coarctation lies after
You know what is the named sign of rib notching in coarctation? It is called Dock sign or Rosiller sign. It is because after the name of the people who initially described this.
Okay. So if the coarctation is distal to left subclavian artery, then there is bilateral rib notching is generally seen, that is present between 3rd and 8th posterior rib. So, and rib notching is generally seen in the posterior ribs, as because of the posterior intercostal arteries are generally tortuous, are generally dilated and tortuous. And so, if there is anomalous origin of right subclavian artery distal to the distal to the coarctation, which may result in unilateral notching of the left hemithorax. And for E sign, there is generally the depression is because of the coarctation. There is pre-dilatation and post-dilatation.
So since you have talked of unilateral notching, what are the causes of right-sided notching only you are seeing? What are the causes?
Sir, the right-sided notching may be because of development of arterial collaterals from the development of arterial collaterals from the subclavian ipsilateral subclavian artery.
So किसमें मिलेगी? Only right-sided notching. Only left-sided notching किसमें मिलेगी? Only right-sided notching किसमें मिलेगी?
So left-sided notching तो generally anomalous origin of right subclavian artery may over distal to the coarctation.
Below the coarctation.
हाँ,
Okay,
below the
abnormal
coarctation.
और only right notching किसमें मिलेगी?
Sir, अगर वो arterial collaterals
Right arch with coarctation है,
coarctation.
जिसमें abnormal left subclavian artery below हो जाएगी. या left arch with juxtadental coarctation जिसमें left subclavian artery involve हो गई है. ठीक है, जिसमें left subclavian artery involve हो गई है adjacent to the cork. अच्छा, what are the causes? Lower limb में notching नहीं मिलती. What are the causes where you will get a notching only in the lower limbs, lower ribs?
Sir,
Aortoarteritis, no? Abdominal coarctations में.
Abdominal coarctation.
सिर्फ upper ribs में notching मिल रही है, lower ribs में नहीं मिल रही. What are the causes?
Sir, before the subclavian
Again,
artery
Takayasu arteritis, subclavian artery stenosis,
stenosis.
or the blocked BT shunt. Okay.
ये तो so inferior rib notching is generally seen, as we have discussed, they may be because of aortic obstruction secondary to Takayasu arteritis, coarctation of aorta, subclavian artery obstruction such as classic BT shunt or Takayasu arteritis, intercostal AV fistula, chronic SVC obstruction, neurofibromatosis. So cyanotic congenital heart disease such as divertology of Fallot, we generally see a boot-shaped heart with the RV type of apex. There is one decrease in pulmonary artery and decrease in size of the pulmonary artery and pulmonary oblique ischemia is generally seen. For transmission of great arteries, we see an egg-on string appearance with the narrow pedicle, with the right border mainly formed by a dilated right left border formed by LV with increased vascularity, and if it is associated with symptoms such as D. George syndrome, there may be a hypoplastic thalamus also, or thymus also. और चले
TOF में ना?
yes sir. Hello,
Are you coming to variants?
sir.
Variants of TOF.
Variants of TOF. तो sir वो फिर
So most importantly, whenever there is a TOF X-ray, one has to actually differentiate that what TOF physiology you are presented. So how will the X-ray differ with different variants of tetralogy? That becomes important, na?
अभी तो
So tricuspid atresia, same findings, it will become a left ventricular apex.
Yes, sir.
CTJ VSD-PS, what will happen? Ascending aorta prominence will be importance in X-ray.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all these things you should know. Okay.
Then TJ. TJ may generally gives an appearance of agon string appearance with a narrow pedicle. The right border is formed by right atrium, and apex is formed by LV. There is increased pulmonary, increased vascularity, and if it is related to T. George syndrome, then there may be hypoplastic thymus.
So why there is a agon string appearance? What is a string?
The string is narrow,
Mediastinum.
narrow because वो जो pulmonary artery that is behind, and आगे जो होते हैं वो सिर्फ aorta ही होता है और वो सिर्फ string की तरह appear करता है.
So the causes of narrowing are actually three. One, there is absence of thymus.
Yes.
Second, there is a great artery relationship which is anteroposterior.
Yes.
So they are not coming side to side. And as there is a associated hyperinflated lung, and that further gives it a narrow appearance. So what is the blunt end of egg? Egg on end है ना, तो what does the blunt end of egg represents?
So it represents LV, sir. Left border is generally formed
blunt end, pointed end नहीं, blunt end ऊपर वाला.
Blunt end, अच्छा हाँ sir, वो that is mainly formed by right atrium.
Yeah, represents dilated right atrium on the right side.
Yes, sir. Then
बस ये थोड़ी ना वापस जाओ. There is a differential flow in TGA ना.
Yes.
There is also a differential flow in the TGA,
yes,
which is the flow is more directed towards the right upper lobe, because right pulmonary, जैसे हम सब में left pulmonary artery की direction में होता है flow, इसमें TGA में right pulmonary artery की orientation होती है, तो there is a differential flow to the right pulmonary artery.
Sir, if the thymus is flattened, sometimes it gives an appearance, or it gives the appearance of widening of mediastinum, तो उसमें sail sign भी बोलते हैं thymus.
Sorry, कौन सा sign?
Sail sign, sir, thymus present होता है, तो it.
Oh, sail sign represents the presence of thymus.
Thymus, yes sir, widening of mediastinum, तो उसकी वजह से.
Sail sign मतलब जो उसकी attachments जो ribs पे हो रही है, it gives like a sail of a boat.
Sail of boat, yes sir.
इसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है एक्सरे में रिकॉग्नाइज करना किसी कर रहे हो तो टीजे के केस में one has to look for a localized bulge on the middle of the left heart border. It represents two masses which are adjacent, that means juxtaposed appendage. क्योंकि juxtaposed appendage है तो थ्योरी में हमने डिस्कस किया था ना, there are juxtaposed appendage, बाकी जगह मिस हो जाएगा, एक्सरे में ही it will be easily picked up.
Yes sir. Then next, so TAPVC, supracardiac TAPVC gives an appearance of on X-ray. It is generally denoted by figure of 8 sign or snowman sign, in which the upper border is of left side is formed by left innominate vein, and the left border left innominate vein, left border by left vertical vein.
So this is actually a late sign.
Yes,
Okay, this will not appear early. It only when the left upper border, left vertical vein is dilated, then you get it. How does it form? Can you repeat it? Left upper border is by the left vertical vein. Superior border is by the innominate vein. Right border is by the SVC, and lower part is by the dilated right atrium.
Yes.
What is hemi-snowman sign?
Hemi-snowman sign, sir.
जब RSVC में ट्रेन करती है तो राइट साइड का डायलेट होता है, लेफ्ट का डायलेट नहीं होता. So I will be showing this X-ray which I also have. That is a hemi-snowman sign. राइट साइड का डायलेटेशन मिलेगा. ठीक है.
Then Schmitter signs that is generally seen
other
by
most
partial.
important thing is कि न्यूबॉर्न बेबी है ना, सॉरी HMD की तरह प्रेजेंट करता है TAPVC कई बार. So are there any subtle signs on X-ray which can help differentiate reticular pattern of TAPVC or HMD?
So, yeah.
Generally it's actually more of pediatric question, but generally क्या होता है HMD में you find more air bronchograms and even the cardiac silhouette shadow gets obliterated by the presence of lung. TAPVC में cardiac silhouette RA-RV dilated होता है, तो cardiac silhouette हमेशा prominent होती है, वो उसके ऊपर नहीं आती. So this can help to differentiate, otherwise the picture is the same. ठीक है, next is Schmitter. अच्छा, okay.
Schmitter sign is generally seen in partial anomalous pulmonary vein origin, in which the right pulmonary vein drains into inferior vena cava. It is an inverted sword type of sign. Epstein anomaly gives
Schmitter का वापस से ना, Schmitter में क्या-क्या एक्सरे में बताओ ना.
yes sir. X-ray में जो right
Schmitter is कैसे presentation होगा when you will start thinking of this?
तो in X-ray sir
Right lower lobe में आएगा, तो Schmitter,
lateral lobe के ना
how will you differentiate Schmitter vein from a pulmonary artery?
sir तो
कैसे बताओगे कि ये pulmonary artery नहीं है, Schmitter vein है?
तो it will go beyond the sir, मतलब कि ये hemidiaphragm के उधर तक जाएगी सर.
Yes, it will actually descend down from the hemidiaphragm, from the diaphragm. Pulmonary artery नहीं करेगी. Other way to differentiate is, इसमें देखो the size tends to increase like a Schmitter, like a वो क्या Schmitter की जो वो होती है, I mean
edge होता है मतलब कि
it will from ऊपर narrow है, नीचे broad होती है. Pulmonary artery में opposite ऊपर broad होती है.
वो pruning वगैरह जो भी आती है. So box-shaped heart, Epstein anomaly, generally there is a enlargement of the heart, and it generally gives an appearance of box, and also known as box-shaped heart. There is generally enlarged, but there is generally oligemic lung fields due to hypoplastic pulmonary lung, and there is large right atrium, and it's all.
So what is, अगर वैसा heart मिल गया, what is specific about aorta and pulmonary artery shadow in Epstein?
So pulmonary artery shadow is generally, sir, like it is hypoplastic, so pulmonary artery shadow is generally not seen.
Yeah.
So
pulmonary artery is actually inconspicuous, it's almost absent.
So aortic shadow will be जो narrow.
इसमें दो चीजें देखो, इवन एओर्टा, ascending aorta shadow भी prominent नहीं मिलती, और pulmonary artery shadow भी नहीं मिलती. In fact, Epstein anomaly is the only cyanotic heart disease where you will find aortic shadow and pulmonary artery shadow both will be narrow.
Yes, sir.
Both will not be prominent. ठीक है, TGA comes close, but इसमें दोनों चीजें होंगी. Cyanotic CHD जो classical किसी भी कोई भी cyanotic CHD एग्जाम में ऐसा नहीं होगा जिसकी ascending aorta भी narrow हो और pulmonary artery segment भी गायब हो. So this is very characteristic feature of aorta and pulmonary artery in Epstein.
Then cyanotic heart disease in truncus arteriosus. So there is generally a waterfall signs we have discussed earlier. That is mainly because of elevation of the right hilum. As the right pulmonary artery has a superior origin. It is also known as waterfall sign. Is also known as Hiller-Pommer sign. In 33% of the cases, they may be associated right aortic arch. So how will we differentiate between right aortic arch from a left aortic arch? So the right aortic arch gives an indentation. Right aortic arch, the aortic knuckle is not prominent, and it gives an indentation towards the trachea on the left side. So that's how we differentiate between a right and left aortic arch.
इसको सिटिंग डक साइन भी बोलते हैं. जब राइट पल्मोनरी आर्टरी प्रोमिनेंट हो जाती है ना,
Yes,
लोअर पार्ट ऑफ द डक हो गया पूरा राउंडेड कार्डिक एपेक्स,
yes, sir.
और नेक हो गया कॉनकेव बे, और ट्रंक
Yes,
हो
sir.
गया उसका मुंह.
Hmm. Setting the stuff.
तो ट्रंकस और टीजे को कैसे डिफरेंशिएट करोगे? न्यूबॉर्न है, इंक्रीज पोजीशन मिल रही है. इज देयर वे ऑन एक्सरे यू कैन डिफरेंशिएट ट्रंकस फ्रॉम टीजे?
तो इसमें राइट पल्मोनरी आर्टरी उसके अंदर तो जो पल्मोनरी आर्टरी वो दिखाई नहीं देगी. इसमें राइट पल्मोनरी आर्टरी प्रोमिनेंट होगी और वाटरफॉल साइन.
इन जनरल आप न्यूबॉर्न का सबसे मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट कंफ्यूजन यही होगा, ये आपको इंक्रीज पोजीशन मिल रही है, कार्डियोमेगाली मिल रही है,
Yes, sir.
वो डॉक्टर साहब ट्रंकस भी हो सकता है, टीजे भी हो सकता है. कैसे? ऑब्वियसली टीजे का सैचुरेशन हमेशा लो होगा,
आदमी कॉल कर ले मैच में
बट ट्रंकस का और एक्सरे में क्या डिफरेंस होगा?
2012 डॉक्टर का जगह
अपर बॉर्डर इज
Zero 2011
straighter in truncus than in TGA.
बताइए.
Right aortic arch is more common in truncus.
दे सकते हैं. मैं बोल दूंगा.
Hello.
हाँ सर, ये मंजीत का शायद चल रहा है स्पीकर. मंजीत,
वहाँ आप बेड साइड में सिस्टर्स को बोल दो.
ठीक है, you have discussed about waterfall sign. ठीक है, okay. Okay, we'll go to the next.
now Manjeet, hold the level. So now we'll discuss about the different devices we can see. So we can see the different pacemaker leads and pacemakers, and we can see the position of the different leads. So generally the pacemaker has a pulse generator, then there is RV lead, then there is LV lead. If there is CRTD, then we can see the LV lead through the coronary sinus. So how will an X-ray help in a pacemaker situation? It generally helps in defining the normal position of the array of different leads, and it helps to, in post procedure, generally we have to rule out whether there is pneumothorax. That is one common complication of post pacemaker insertion. And other chronic complication related to pacemaker that can be visualized with the help of X-ray are the lead fractures, displaced leads, and lead fractures and displaced leads. We can also differentiate between different devices with the help of X-ray, such as we can differentiate dual chamber pacemaker, which has two leads in RA and RV. In CRTD, there is an LV lead. If there is an ICD, the ICD lead generally have a coil. So now, sir, coming to cardiac calcification. So calcification can be valvular, which is related to mitral aortic wall, can be pericardial, can be seen in constrictive pericarditis. Myocardial calcification can be seen in LV aneurysm and left atrial wall in subvalvular flutter. Endocardial calcification, such as endomyocardial fibrosis. Intraluminal calcification can be seen secondary to LA thrombus, LA myxoma, LV thrombus. And vascular calcification can be seen in aortic area and coronary artery calcification. So how will we separate a mitral wall from a aortic wall? Generally, a horizontal line is drawn from the left atrial appendage to the right cardiophrenic angle. The wall below this line is mitral wall. The wall above this line is aortic wall. So here we can see the calcification of mitral wall.
जब भी होता है ना, are you aware of various strategies to differentiate aorta and mitral?
Sir, this
One you have said,
strategy-
no?
Yes, sir. Or different.
Tricuspid valve के लिए क्या करेंगे?
Tricuspid valve के लिए.
So
Sir.
one is the imaginary line method which you have told.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, you draw two lines, उसमें this is a classical old age method. Then obviously a valve orientation, you can look at the valve orientation.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, this is the lines you have actually shown. But classical line method के साथ one is a classical line method ना, which you have shown कि cardiophrenic angle
Yes,
से left hilum तक जो draw करते हैं.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise you take a lateral X-ray. तुमने APB में बताया ना, lateral
sir.
X-ray में there is a line from the carina to the cardiac apex,
Okay.
and valve lying above this line is the aortic valve and the pulmonary valve.
Yes, sir.
और tricuspid और mitral valve उसके नीचे होंगे.
ठीक है. Now, differentiating between myocardial calcification can be seen like this. So, how do we differentiate between a constrictive pericarditis and a myocardial calcification? So, the constrictive pericarditis or pericardial calcification can be seen in both the sides of the heart, most commonly in the AV group. However, the myocardial calcification is generally seen on the left side. It is diffuse calcification around the heart. It is a localized calcification. The calcification of myocardium is generally fine. However, the pericardial calcification is irregular and gentle. This is an X-ray. So this is a miscellaneous X-ray. This may LA calcification. Then there's one more thing, that is eggshell sign, that is generally seen as aortic dissection. However, it is not much significant. It is defined as a greater than 5 mm interval between the calcification, that is here, along the aortic arch and the lateral margin of the aorta. So it is very less. Like it is, this sign is rare. It is only not present. Aortic arch I have told. Then one more thing, sir, aortic nipple, that is also a rare sign, but it is generally seen because of left superior intercostal vein. It is a slight nipple-like projection above the aortic node. It is sometimes considered as a false sign. It is sometimes mistakenly as coarctation of aorta, and sometimes confused with dissection. So it is generally seen in SVC obstruction, and so that's all. Hello. Hello. Then situs inversus with dextrocardia. So how will we see whether it is situs inversus situs solitus. So it is generally seen with the help of abdominal gas shadow, aortic node, this descending aorta, and atrium. So here are the different examples of situs inversus with dextrocardia, in which the abdominal gas frontal gas shadow is on the left side with apex on the left side, or right, frontal gas shadow on the right side with apex on the right side. Then situs inversus with levocardia is frontal gas shadow on the right side with the apex on the left side. Hello. Dextrocardia with situs solitus, the apex is on the right side while the frontal gas stomach lies on the left side. Hello. Hello.
You talked of situs, no? What about dextrocardia?
Yes, sir. So dextrocardia.
आ रही है आवाज, आ रही है, कंटिन्यू.
हाँ. So बस dextrocardia में the apex is shifted to the right side. However, the frontal gas shadow it is situs solitus. Then the frontal gas shadow will be on the left side, and liver shadow will be on the right side. So descending aorta will be normal on the right side. Sir, और कुछ?
ठीक है. I think we have to look for, basically whenever we have to look for stomach, liver, bronchus, diaphragm,
Bronchus, atrium,
and aorta, whether it's on the left or the right. These are the structures which help to decide between X-ray description of a dextrocardia with situs solitus or dextrocardia with situs inversus. So aorta becomes important here to decide actually.
Yes, sir. That's all, sir.
अच्छा था.
Okay.
Hello. Anything else? Anybody wants to add? So basically, X-ray needs to be prepared when you are you have given your viva and then the X-ray and ECG का story आ जाती है. So are you aware what is Silhouette sign?
Silhouette sign, sir.
It is one of the most useful finance tests. What is the basis of Silhouette sign? It is basically loss of cardiac silhouette.
Okay. So, sir, तो malposition of cardiac malposition की वजह से
कोई भी silhouette क्या है? Cardiac silhouette क्या है? Two-dimensional representation of the heart.
Yes, sir.
This is what the X-ray is. The Silhouette sign is important because it indicates which bronchopulmonary segment is getting affected. Which part of the lung is actually impinging on which part of the lung. So that is what the basis of Silhouette sign is. Heart or anterior aorta जो है, they are anterior structures.
Yes, sir.
Descending aorta is a posterior structure. Arch is a which goes from right to left, and diaphragm is an inferior structure. ये इसका basis है to interpret a Silhouette sign. ठीक है, to say cardiac silhouette को interpret करने के लिए.
Okay.
So basically जो cardiac silhouette जो से encroach होता है, then you say which part of the lungs get involved. So obliteration of the part of the cardiac silhouette involved lung. Suppose right paratracheal और SVC obliterate हो गई, दिख नहीं रही. That means right upper lobe is involved.
Okay.
Right side का chamber दिख नहीं रहा. That means right middle lobe is involved. IVC नहीं दिख रहा है, right lower lobe is involved. Aortic nocal नहीं दिख रही है, apical lobe is involved. नॉर्मल लेफ्ट हार्ट कर्वेचर नहीं दिख रहा है, लिंगुलर लोब इज इन्वॉल्व्ड, और लेफ्ट हेमिडायफ्राम में नहीं दिख रहा है, लेफ्ट लोअर लोब इन्वॉल्व हो गया. दिस इज कॉल्ड सिलेट साइन. दैट मींस यू लुक एट द हार्ट टू इंटरप्रेट द फाइंडिंग्स इन द लंग्स. ठीक है. पॉजिटिव सिलेट साइन मींस देयर इज अ involvement of encroachment of the lungs on the heart.
Yes, sir.
So what are the differential diagnoses of wall to wall heart?
So wall-to-wall heart is generally seen in Epstein anomaly. It can, और एक और वो था,
Tricuspid valve anomaly हो गई,
हाँ
pre-TR हो
tricuspid
गया,
हाँ, और pulmonary stenosis,
pulmonary trachea intact septum
pulmonary
हो गया,
trachea, yes sir, pulmonary trachea intact septum.
critical PS severe TR हो गया, and Epstein हो गया.
Yes.
ठीक है. These are they could also be seen in atriovenous shunts which called significant volume overload. क्योंकि continuous flow रहता है ना, जैसे AVM tumors, hepatic endotheliomas, intracardiac coronary cameral fistulas, इनमें significant shunt है. So one, tricuspid valve involvement, two, continuous
Pulmonary
flows, three, wall to wall heart का pericardial cause, fourth cause cardiomyopathies. So these are the causes of wall to wall heart. Okay, anything else?
Yes, sir.
Restrictive pericarditis you have told, no?
Yes,
You were
sir.
talking of some pulmonary AV malformation में findings. What is the characteristic of pulmonary AV malformations की findings?
Sir, there is localization of increase in vascularity. बस एक यही.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
What are the features of pulmonary AVMs के features?
Sir, there is increase in localized vascularity.
Yeah, so anything which persistent patch के साथ आ रहा है, one should always do the pulmonary AV malformation. Okay. Anybody wants to add anything else?
So,
Unusual lesions में generally LA appendage aneurysm, इन सब की characteristic shadows होती हैं. वो एक बार. What is a dog ear sign?
dog ear.
Generally LA aneurysm significantly dilated होता है, तो it causes a left-sided enlargement.
Okay.
चलो. Anything else? चलो ठीक है. We'll end this then. Nice connection.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
But अभी तक I think